So, hello everyone, I'm Juliia Barabash, and today we will talk about how to harvest our data with Python. And today we will talk about nice libraries that can help us. But before it, I would like to introduce myself, that I'm Juliia Barabash. Right now I'm located in Germany, nice city Munich. But before it, I originally from Ukraine, and the first place where it was working. Hello? So the first city where I stopped, it was Passau. And Passau is very small city, but has a lot of people because it has big university. And there's right now like 15,000 students there. It's around also 200,000 people living there. So it's very hard to find apartment, and overall in Germany it's very hard to find apartment. And at that point I thought, okay, with finding apartments can be hard because we are humans and we are not like animals or other species, for example spiders, who basically can live on streets, can live on trees, can build their own nests, can choose their place. And that's why we have a problem. We need to find an apartment. And that moment I thought, okay, for finding an apartment, it will be very useful also to answer some questions. For example, I can have questions where the lowest price, because sometimes areas are very nice, it's very good location, for example, very good public transportation, but and price is still cheap there. Or maybe there are some seasons where a lot of people are coming, that's why demand is big, people start to put bigger prices on your apartment, and so it's more competition. And another times you can easier find the same apartment for lower price and there's less competition. And also it's good to track the information about the overall the price, what kind of the prices can be. Also you can create some automation. For example, if the new prices, no apartment appears in the listing, you want to retrieve the data and send like a request to landlord, okay, I want to claim this apartment. It would be nice to have an ability to claim some of this stuff. And for this, we have a special tool. It's called web scraping, because with web scraping, it's powerful tool. Well, you can create automation for extracting your data from web, also to collect data from your web. It's right now it's very popular because right now a lot of companies rely on the data processing, making driven data decision, driven decision by data. It's very complicated sentence, yeah, but they make the decision based on the data, based on the trend, based on user activities, based on the what of the popular right now information. Also right now for artificial intelligence, we need to collect our data as well. We need to train our models, and for training our models, we know that we need to have a lot of data. That's why it's nice to have like some the tool, web scraping, where we can collect our data. But do we have something in Python that can ease our life? And we have it. It's called scrapping. Basically, it's Python library scrapping that contains basic functionality that you need for collecting the data. For example, it's like box. We already get out of box some functionality where it will call your URLs, where it will collect, extract like HTML code, can do some pre-processing for you, and basically it has all building blocks that you need just to build your web scraping application. And by this having building blocks, we just can focus on creation of your logic, and not by creation of the other building blocks that can save our time. And for this, one of the advantages of the scrapping as well is asynchronous. It means that a lot of websites have can have some traps. For example, if you send a lot of requests to your website, they can understand that you want to use this website for collecting their data, and they can implement some kind of mechanisms where they will not send you a response. So they will receive requests from you, and they will keep it and do not send response. And by this, they will keep your sessions open and will consume basically resources from you because you will waiting for a response, but actually there's no response. They understand that they want to collect their data, so they just like consume your resources. And by this, they implement asynchronous architecture. And the idea of that is that you generate a lot of requests, you send a lot of requests, but you not wait for all responses. You have some kind of listener, let's call it, and you will focus on the responses that you receive. It's one of the advantages. Another advantage of that is that you can retrieve HTML code, and there's a lot of stuff how you. We will also focus on this, but basically Scrappy focus on retrieving your HTML code, and when you retrieve your HTML code, you need to find the way how you need to go through your HTML code and how you need to extract your data. That's why in Scrappy there's possible to specify some way of unique path, unique identifier for the objects that you search for your HTML. Right now we have like XPath, where you can just specify XPath where you to your object inside the HTML code, or you can use CSS selector. And with CSS selector, it's also similar to CSS, how we define our CSS schema for our HTML. It's CSS schema style for HTML code, and it can also be used the same logic. That's also very nice, because in this way you can find the unique objects. It's also one of the problems that it's very hard sometimes to find unique identifiers for some objects, but with Scrappy there's a solution. Also, there's other advantage that storage is very important, because you can also just have run it locally. As I show you later, that we can have JSON on your local machine, but also you can build a communication, for example, with S3 bucket or with Google Cloud Storage. Is also very nice, because with integration to S3 bucket, you can build, for example, event-driven architecture. For example, you can collect data, put your in S3 bucket. On the S3 bucket, you can have a Lambda or some other notification what will trigger your functionality, and you can build basically very nice workflow where you collect data and immediately you process data without your interaction. What another thing that I would like to talk is that also Scrappy had middlewares is basically some kind of the functionality that you can inject additional stuff, additional features. For example, you need to have a way how to log in, how to do authentication. You can inject authentication. Additionally, you can inject like agents. One of the ideas with the agent, sometimes websites understand you are going to collect the data by headers, and by defining different headers, agents value for inside different headers, you can also like avoid problems. Other stuff, you can try retry fail requests, and also you can track unsuccessful responses. It's one of the powerful stuff about Scrappy, because you basically can build functionalities that be invoked before sending requests, receiving response, and so on. And now we will talk how we can build it. And build it, it's very fast and also very easy, because for this we just need basically to do 3 simple stuff. The first stuff what we need to do is basically we need to install our Scrappy. It's basically pip install, and after pip install you will have already some command line functionality on your machine. Inside this command line with this functionality, basically what you can do, you can basically create your project out of the box already with predefined architectures that we will discuss. The another thing that we can do is we can do some kind of debugging. Fetch, for example, we have fetch, and basically with fetch you can just retrieve HTML page to your local environment and debug it. Also you can set up settings, or you can start your work crawler. And now, for creation of the project, we just need to execute one. We just need to execute Scrappy start project apartment scrapper. And how it will look after our execution, it will have this architecture. And right now, let's go to our architecture here. So basically what we did already, in this case, we already have some kind of code, but right now we will not talk about this code. What we will talk about architecture, and for this architecture we already run code to create our project. And after creation our project, what we had, we have pipelines. So far, pipeline was created by me, but we have that file. We had a lot of different settings. For example, user agents that we specify in our headers. What else of other headers we can specify, and crawlers that we can use. But here you can have a lot of different settings for your application. After this, we also have three important stuff. The most important stuff is the folder where we can keep our all spiders that we're going to use. Additionally, items here, it's for data validation. So in case you want to validate your data or somehow structure your data, you can here define all your fields. Here in the spiders, we will have all our spiders. It's so-called spiders because this spider will be used for collecting the data. So here we have immobile spider, where it will be called later to collect all the data. And basically pipeline, after collecting your data, you want to enrich your data. And for this, this pipeline will be called, and data will be processed and will be saved for later for you, so you can use it. So, and now let's try to execute our spider. So let's try to execute our spider. And for execution our spider, what we need to do, we just need to call Scrappy crawl. Let's do not like this. I hope you see. Okay. Now, so if we execute our spiders, what this command means that it will call our spider, but it should know which spider to call. That's why if we have a look inside this file, we can see that here we have name immobile spider, where's our immobile name of the spider that we want to call. Another thing that we have inside, we have our allow domains. It means that we will list all domains from which we can receive response. If there's like domains that not listed here and we receive the response, basically it will be rejected to process. Another one, starting point, our URL that we are going to call. In our case, it will be the first page of our implementation. So if we're going here, we can see that we copy this page, we insert it, we bait, and we can see that we have this information. And we want to extract, for example, we want to extract the title, we want to extract the price, we want to extract the size. And if we check it, we will very much interested in this div that contains all the information such as like title, price, and also size of the all rooms. And basically, I will increase it for you because it's most probably very hard to see, but I cannot increase the size. Not very good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Command plus or control plus. If you have a Mac, it is command, but you have to hover over the developer tools, and yeah.
Yeah, good, thank you. So, so let's click here, and you can see right now we have this div. That's even bigger. We have this div. Here we have the name. Inside we will have our location, which we interested, and also we have our price that we interested. And also we have price, area, in rooms. Good. And we interested in this information. So first of all, when we run this command crawler, we will send request to start URL. After that, we will receive all our requests. We will pass our page. It means we will search for all these items. If we search this state item here, we can see that we have 20 items. We have 20 items because, as a result, because there's 20 divs where the class, we have class of this value, right? And additionally, as we have pagination, we want to go through the all pages. For this, we need to define also our stop condition. So basically, right now, our stop conditions that we iterate for each page as far as we have state items on our page. If we don't have state items, it means we are at the last page, and we are not anymore interested in going through it. Then another thing is our processing of each item. As I recall, we will extract the name, we extract the price. We can see, as I told you later, we will focus on the XPath where we specify the div, and the div should have attribute data test with value price for the price, area for the size, a room for the room. And after that, we will emit our data for further saving for processing of pipelines. It's data from one page, but we want to go through another page. And for going through another page, we need to understand the pattern how we go through to another page. If we check here, we have see our URL. Okay, I cannot. This one I cannot unfortunately increase, but we can see here we have our URL, and there's always depends what kind of number here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for example, if we go to the 3, we will have this page. And so basically we'll extract the current number of the page, we will increase it, and we will go to the next page. And if we run it, we can see that we're collecting our data. We sending requests, we receiving response. So we have the sizes, we have one different apartments, and let's wait a bit. We on the page right now. Okay, it's done. We can see it's done. If we go here, we can see that we already have some data. But another powerful tool about Scrappy is possible to do pipelines. It's by pipelines you can define additional functionality. For example, you receive your data and you want to clean up your data, or you want to enrich your data, and also to add additional fields. And for this, we already built the functionality. We have our pipeline. If you see, I will disable this one and enable this one where I specify my pipeline, apartment scrapper pipeline. And if you go here, we can see that after that, we get our price. We will clean up our price. We also clean up our size. We also clean up our rooms, and we also calculate additional field price per meter squares. And if we clean up this file, because it's the same file, and run again, we will see that we have additional data inside. Okay, it's already available, and we already have price per meter square. So it's very easy to clean up your data, collect your data. You just need to implement a few lines of code, and you already can collect data. And as a final word, what's the benefits of the Scrapy? So it's very flexible and very powerful, and also it has like asynchronous architecture. This means that you just send requests and do not wait to response, by focus on the response that you receive. It's possible to build pipeline where you can process your data, and at the end you can save your data to S3 bucket or to others, to S3 bucket or to other cloud providers or other file systems. Also, you can save it to Postgres as well. There's different way how to you can implement for selectors, for implementing your, for extracting your data. Another thing about it is that you can also add authentication and also add the way how you can generate agents for your IP, for your spider, so website will not understand that you're basically sending a lot of requests. Also, you can add proxies to it, so it's very powerful and nice tool that you can collect your data. And it's all from me, for you.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah?
Please?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Julia, I am from Berlin as well, and I know the pain. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not related, maybe this question. You checked Immobile, yeah?
Yeah.
But did you check other like Immobile and Scout, Immonet, and others? Could you scrape from
I just checked Immobile so far, but with Immo Scout 24, I think you need to play more a bit around, because there for sure has some kind of functionality. But so that's why for this you need also to implement some of ways how you can collect your data, but there's for sure some kind of the little bells that you can add.
Okay, thanks.
So probably related, but some of the websites have like lazy loading feature where you have to scroll in order to load more things.
I think it's with this you also can add this. So there's possible to add some kind of the, I think it's built on the Selenium, where you can just scroll it.
But with Scrapy you can integrate those kind of things, right? To simulate the interaction.
Yes.
Do we have any other questions?
And does it happen as well sometimes that you get captchas? Say like you send some number of requests and you get a captcha request.
That's why I mentioned that you can have agent, because like with agent you can generate different headers for your requests, and basically that's why it was not possible. Also the same proxies, you can have different APIs for your request. That's why maybe you can avoid having like this captcha problem. And also you can define weight. So you can just basically define like weight between 100 requests. So that's fine.
My question is related. Thank you. Let's say I'm a web developer. I do have a website, and I want to prevent some teenager from scraping it. What would be the best way to prevent the website from the scraping?
I think like it's very hard. I think there's a lot of tools. No, I maybe to implement some kind of JavaScript, because I know this can be very hard to parse. I think some kind of because sometimes when I do like also web development, I usually check like all websites and I see what websites I can extract data, what I cannot say that. And so far for me, it's just basically with JavaScript, with a lot of like very dynamic loading. I think like this, yeah.
And also, I would recommend changing class names to, I don't know, something less meaningful.
There are like single page applications, and you cannot find them when they minify it, or like, you cannot find them.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Are you using proxy and modifying agent for changing headers, or is that all, or do you use some kind of more measures to like evade measures against proxy?
Against a catcher, against a get to be detected. It's yeah, you can a lot of stuff. For example, you can also switch users as well. It's quite powerful because you can have like again middleware where you can just have pool of user as pool of authentication and just extract like API keys. Yeah, I think like every case, like in this case, was very easy very easy example. So the site doesn't have a lot of stuff, but I think with each site you just need to debug and go through. For example, other stuff has files where it's some kind of convention that people have. If you have this file of inside your web applications, it means that it's not allowed to scrap. But again, if you play around, that it's possible to avoid this. So with this, I think like there's some basic stuff to solve, but with advanced stuff, I for sure there's possibility in the integration with Scrappy as well. But you need to also double check.